All right. I'm kind of speechless here. Bears win in a dramatic way, but welcome to the Bears film room. We're going to go ahead and kind of give our instant reactions to the Bears-Bengals game. And yeah, like I think I just watched the anti-Bears game because somehow we won this. And I was honestly dreading coming and to this mic and having to talk about just a Bears loss in a fashion that probably I don't think I've ever seen as far as like the possible defensive collapse that we could have witnessed and special teams. It was quite it was disheartening. So we're going to go ahead and give our instant reactions. We have a lot to get to, just our post game kind of shows that we typically have. We'll have our meters, kind of go with a brief overview on Caleb Williams. Just a lot of good stuff. And thankfully we get to do it on such a happy note. So again, if you're tuned in for the first time here, we appreciate you. We're super stoked. Hit that subscribe button, and wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, Fick, first. Give me your instant reaction on this game. The Bears win in a shootout, no doubt. But how are we feeling, man?
What the fuck did I watch? That's what I felt like that last 2 minutes. What the fuck did I just watch? That was the biggest defensive collapse that I've seen by two teams. Both teams. Horrible. How do you give up a Coulson Lovelin basically 80-yard bomb, right, on third down? And then also, how do the Bears give up 15 points in like 49 seconds? So the end of this game was the definition of battle of mid, because it seemed like the Bears had a chance to really end the game from the start. And this was going to look like an Eberflus type loss if Ben Johnson lost this game, but he didn't. Okay, so we all know that. Crazy ending, wild thriller. But let's talk about what was good, and I'll go through these quick. Running the ball. Fantastic, Dave. Your bold take was over 100 all-purpose yards from Kyle Manungai. Well, he did that in the first half. Had 99 rushing yards in the first half. Kyle Manungai, Jack's guy, looked fantastic, and the blocking from the wide receivers and the offensive linemen was elite against this ass defensive lineman. Looking at Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams also played well. Did not turn the ball over. Wanted to see him run a little bit more, but delivered when it mattered most. Clutch Caleb, which we've talked about, typically shows up in the fourth quarter, and he did it. Now let's talk about the bad. This defense, this secondary, I know they're riddled with injuries. They are awful. They might be the worst secondary right now in the NFL. They just gave up over 490 total yards to a 40-year-old Joe Flacco. Now, I know they've got Jamar Chase. I know they've got T. Higgins. But they were giving up big play after big play after big play and couldn't stop anyone. They did. The run game looked pretty decent. And I will say the pass rush, Montez Sweat looked good today. And Booker, we saw, was he going to do something? And he showed up. So defensive line did pretty well. The linebackers were okay. Tmain played well. But that secondary was awful. And that's why they almost lost this game. But overall, it's a win. Packers lose. Packers lose, Lions lose to Vikings, Bears win. That's exactly what you want if you want to try to fight for this division on the back half of the season. So I will not complain. They got the win like they needed to. That's all that matters. The Bears are now 5-3.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. That's what almost frustrated me because I honestly jumped ahead. I don't know if anyone else has done this. If you want to admit it, I would love to not be the only one. But about 3 minutes left in this game, I was looking at the standings. I said, Vikings beat Detroit. Holy shit. Then I was like, Green Bay lost. I said, this is a perfect day. And then it all started to unfold. And I could not believe it. I was honestly shocked. And I'm very, very happy that we're having this discussion and that the Bears won because it was such a great opportunity for them. And they almost blew it. Or they did blow it. But Cincinnati just blew a little harder, honestly. No pun intended there, but yeah,
Dave, because you asked, sorry not to cut you off, but you asked, if anyone got ahead, right? Thinking ahead. I did that with us. I tweeted our voicemail line, Bears win thriller with like a minute 40 seconds left. As soon as I pressed enter, they scored that touchdown with Noah Fant. And I said, oh no, deleted the tweet and it all went downhill from there. So I want you to continue on your thoughts. I was right there with you. Like, oh, of course the Bears are going to put this away. They're up 15 with a minute 40 left. And of course they couldn't, but
yeah, but for real, my instant reaction on this game is this does feel like a different Bears team. At the end of the day, they made a lot of mistakes, but in a football game, especially in the NFL, any team can win. It does not matter your record. It doesn't matter if it's the end of the year. It doesn't matter if it's a backup quarterback like Joe Flacco, who had, just over 450 yards. It's quite incredible how he played. And then you got to give credit to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and that other receiver that made that one catch. But yeah, the Bears secondary was like burnt toast today. But I kind of knew going into this that it was going to be a shootout. And I said right away, if they win this game, they need to go and be aggressive at the trade deadline, which there was a report before the game that the Bears were going to be aggressive. And now you're 5-3, absolutely should be. Try to get a veteran corner, maybe an edge rusher. But anyways, back to my instant reactions. Shout out to Coulson Lovelin. There has been so much negativity on him. And for him to have 118 yards, 2 touchdowns, the game-winning touchdown, and to make a play like that, it's why you drafted him. And I think Caleb said it after the game. This is why we brought him to Chicago. And it's plays like that where, first of all, I understand how could the Bengals give up a play like that, but the guy, first of all, he makes an acrobatic catch. He gets hit hard. Now you got to wrap up, sure, but he gets hard, keeps his balance, kind of fights off like a leg tackle, arm tackle, and then just the speed, the breakaway speed. Cole Kmet's not scoring that touchdown. I don't think a lot of tight ends are. That speed is what is elite. His fluidity and the way that he kind of burst, like the first step after his catch is so fast. And you just do not see that in a lot of tight ends. And that's why this guy is special. And he's going to make a lot more plays. Maybe not a game-winning, 60-yard or 50-yard, whatever it was, reception. But the ability after the catch is what's so scary because he's a receiver essentially, just a big body. And then you see him blocking today with Darnell Wright. It makes you so excited. I know we haven't really talked much about Caleb, who made the throw, and it was a great throw. He delivered. We talk about legacy drives, right? We laugh. It's a joking thing. But seriously, people are going to remember this and that he delivered when his team needed it most. And he also, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but if they don't win this game, it could derail the season. It could derail the momentum they built all the way up until this point. And on top of that, I'm not saying it's going to end an era, but it's already been loud with Caleb. And for the Bears, sure, it wasn't his fault that the defense gave up all of those yards or the Daniel Hardy kicked the ball on onside kick instead of just recovering it because he wanted to go block somebody. All those mistakes wouldn't have been his fault. But damn well the media would have been the first target would have been Caleb and how he didn't make this throw, how he didn't do enough. Look at Drake May, all of that. But at the end of the day, he quieted that noise. And sure, he got it to his playmaker. That's what he's supposed to do. So for me, this was, I do not want to be like, put so much emphasis on this, but it's like, I feel like this could have went downhill very, very fast and could have been a very damning point, not for Ben Johnson, but really, really for Caleb. We've seen Justin Fields, Mitch Trubisky have some big drives and the Bears just come up short. They lose the game, whatever it might be, but it's the opposite. And that's going to help his confidence, going to help this team. I can't wait to see that locker room video where they're going to be going crazy in there. And to win on the road, it's not easy. We got to give the Ravens credit last week, a better team than I think their record, obviously, but the Bengals offensively are a juggernaut. I know Joe Flacco's old and whatever, but he still got it. And I know the defense on the Bears played a big role into that. But these guys, elite pass catchers, and Joe Flacco can still throw the rock. So it's easier when they're, 5-10 yards open. But all I'm trying to say is this could have been truly, truly detrimental, destructive to what this season is. But now all of a sudden with the Bears winning, the Packers losing, Detroit losing, you're a game away from first. You're tied for second right now. I think Detroit has the tiebreaker, of course, because they dropped 450 on us. But at the end of the day, the Bears didn't just do the Bears thing. They didn't back down. They made a ton of mistakes, but we've seen it this year at least where they just continue to fight and find ways to win. And I just got to give them credit. And I'm just so happy for Caleb and really just the entire locker room to win a game like that, where if you lose it, it is going to feel very, very heavy. You're going to feel that pressure from the media. And it just would have been a very, very tough week for that team, for the fans, for everything. And so for them to come through, all the players that made that happen, and shout out to Kyle Manungai as well. It makes me so happy because I feel like time and time again, we have been on the opposite end of this. And so, Jack, I know I went long there. Kind of give me your instant reaction, how you're feeling. Do you feel it the same way in regards to kind of what Fick and I mentioned?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys kind of nailed it. This is the last time I will ever use it for the rest of the year. is we don't win this game last year. I'll never say it ever again. I think we've said it. I at least I've said it probably every single win we've had so far is we don't win it last year. So no, in total, I think the offense looked really, really good. Obviously, there is clearly an issue like with Caleb holding onto the ball too long. That's just him trying to play a little too much hero ball. It's not a big flaw. Like if he was overthrowing every single person, that's a different conversation. But no, I think we look good. The pass rush looked really good. I thought we held Chase Brown too. So the run game looked good. It was just the secondary, which Fick talked about a lot. So no, in total, it felt like a good game. It's not ideal to let up 40 points in any situation. So that's something that we can frown on. But no, dude, I think we just looked fucking good. It was exciting as shit. Like my chest hurt when they recovered that onside kick. And then I'm sitting there like trying to fucking like see who it hit, like as if I'm Mike Pereira himself. That moment right there, though, was when I was like, I think we're going to lose this. Like when they recovered that, it was just like we knew Flacco was going to score. Oh, yeah. And then we were hoping that, at least for me, I was like, I think I trust Caleb. I wasn't fully there. Like, oh, yeah, like this is some Josh Allen shit. Give me the ball with a minute left. Watch what happens. But no, I think it looked good. And like Dave said, it's a legacy drive. It's one of those that you just won't forget. And Caleb showed up with a minute. 3rd and 10, like that was back against the wall. Like I don't know if the Bengals secondary just locked in. I can't wait to watch the film on it. Because, like, I mean, he just wasn't thrown to a fucking like, the first read wasn't there. Then you watched him turn his head. Second read wasn't there. And then it just kind of became a scramble drill every time for the first and second down. So that's playmaker, man. That's the kind of guy you want. And no, I couldn't be more excited. I'm drinking. Yeah. I'm going to drink at 3, ready to go.
Love that.
I want to say this too. We're so harsh on quarterbacks, and you look at Jordan Love today. He had one of the worst throws that should have been picked off I've ever seen. Awful. And I consider him a very, very good quarterback. I know some people don't feel that way, but at the matter of the fact is he can play at a very high level. He also makes some really boneheaded throws, mistakes. Same thing with Caleb, but he doesn't really make a lot of mistakes as far as interceptions go. Again, he did not throw a pick today. And when he does, it's just so surprising. And I'll be honest, I'm very hard on him. He's a number 1 overall pick. And I think with that comes scrutiny. But at the end of the day, I think when you look at some of these young quarterbacks, Caleb deserves a lot more credit. And even from me, in regards to what he is really, really good. And there's moments where he does have a lot of almost like rookie mistakes. And you forget he's in year 2, of course, and first with Ben Johnson. And you just want that instant success. And I'm the same way. Like I want the Bears I want to see an elite quarterback. I want to look and see like a Josh Allen, right? Of course, progress isn't always linear, but in the NFL and I guess as a fan base, we just really want that instant, success. Yeah. You want to know instantly, yeah, this is our guy, no doubts. But for me, this was a game that I said they're gonna have to win in a shootout. And at the end of the day, sure, he got help. A run game helps, right? Kyle Manungai, we'll touch on him later. Yeah. But Caleb, I think, like I said, he is scrutinized and very heavily so, but he also deserves so much more praise than I think we give him credit for. And he may miss the easy ones sometimes and make some boneheaded plays, but man, today you saw him fight and you saw him just really on the sideline. He never wavered. The body language was great. And I think that's just growth. And sometimes I think one thing I want to focus on was I heard it earlier, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, was just progress isn't always linear. And that's throughout this season, right? We're going to have these stretches like Caleb last 3-4 games. It's been really, really rocky. Today, he's catching touchdown passes. He's having fun. He's also throwing touchdown passes. And he's trusting Ben. He's running the offense. There wasn't too many false starts, cadence issues. So for me, it's just like I'm seeing that growth. And sometimes it doesn't look like Drake May, right? It doesn't look like Jaden Daniels in year 1. But for some reason, I just think that Caleb is really, really starting to get it. And when he starts to hit those checkdowns, which for some reason he just doesn't look there often sometimes. And in the second half, I actually saw if I had to be honest, I think Ben got on his ass and was like, hey, those checkdowns are 10, 15 yards if you just look. And so for me, he looks for those. He kind of big game hunter, right? Yeah, big game hunter. Yeah. And I love that about him. But for me, you saw him start to take those checkdowns in the second half, those easy yards. And on top of that, one thing we've yelled at him for throughout those 4-5 games is to run more. And I know laughingly, the booth was really on his ass about running, like just take the yards. But you saw that a lot more today. And I think that's going to be huge for this Bears run game. Also keeps drives alive. And so for me, I just want to give hats off to Caleb. Like this was an incredible win. It showed a lot of fight. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just really, really happy for him and really just this team. So still have another, we play the Giants next then?
Yep. Play the Giants
right?
next. Yep.
It's a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. This was good.
Look, this is all you want from your quarterback. You want to have a quarterback where they have a chance to go down and win the game, put your team in favorable position and win it. And he did that. So that's all you can ask for. He didn't turn the ball over. He came up clutch when he needed to. That's all you can do, right? So I'm excited about that. He's done, and what's the good about Caleb is he's done the clutch stuff a lot. He did it a decent amount last year. We just ended up losing the games, right? Clutch against the Fail Mary game. He was clutch there. The clutch in the Lions game, they got it down there. They didn't have timeouts because they had a timeout and they didn't use it, and they could have used it there. There was like 4 or 5 games last year we did it, and this year he's already done it 2 or 3 times. So we've seen that Caleb in the fourth quarter, when it's clutch, last 3 minutes of the game, he shows up. So that's always a good sign, I think, from a mental standpoint of your quarterback, and he can handle the pressure, right, and go out there and win games. There's still other stuff that he needs to work on, obviously, second-year quarterback, but that's the one thing that when you say what I'm holding on to for hope is when he has those moments, because he's done it a lot, and we have not seen that. We may have seen quarterbacks make better throws, maybe like a Jay Cutler or something. We may have seen some stuff that Caleb's not been able to do, but we've seen something that Caleb's done that a lot of the quarterbacks haven't been able to do in Chicago. So I'm very, very excited about that.
Yeah, and one more quick side note was what Dave said, and you said it not to be dramatic, but it's not. I don't think it is dramatic. If we lose this and we lose back-to-back games against AFC North, like non-divisionals, like it almost feels like the season's dead. Like for the Bengals fans, I'm sure right now they're all thinking that the season's dead. Like this was a big game for both teams, and our schedule does get tougher. Like it's I would say it's easier now because end of the year it sucks. So to me, I think it was as important of a game, and everyone was saying must win throughout the entire week, and thank God we did.
Yeah, the NFL is such a week by week scenario. It's funny how one win flips to a loss. It goes from this season is hopeful to this season is over. And I think because of how bad the loss was last week, like you said, Jack, they had to win this, not only from a mental standpoint, but also from a playoff chance standpoint. Because we talked about it, that if they lose this game, the chances of them making the playoffs was around 18%. If they win it, it's 40%. I bet you it's, now that the Lions and the Packers have lost, I bet you it's even higher than that. I bet you it's probably near like 50-55. So that tells you how big of a game this is, right? That's a 40 percentage point differential, 30%, which is a lot in the NFL. So they win this one as they did. They go to next week. Obviously, that's another game, but they go to next week and they beat the Giants. You're sitting at 6-3 through 9 games. Vegas odds had us at 7 wins for the season. You're really setting yourself up to get hot, play well in that back half, and make your way into the playoffs. So I double down on what you said, Jack. Absolutely agree. This was a huge game, and they did it in a mentally fortitude game where they had to be mentally strong to come back from a game that they blew. You know what I mean? Like, you're mentally got to be like, all right, we got to go out there and win this, even though we should have won it and we almost lost it, and normal teams typically do, or Bears are old-fashioned, don't make that final drive. So I think it's a win in a bunch of categories, and they check the box, and that is what's going to help turn the page for this team to help build a different franchise than what we're used to being seen on the football field. So great points. Okay, we got Sweetness here. Oh, sorry, I want to do the we got a super chat that came in here. I got it real quick. Thank you. Sweetness here, which is Daniel Jones, our Patreon member, which we had our Patreon call today. It was awesome talking with you. But he said, the Bears and West Ham United both win on the same day. Man, I'll be heading to work like Theo Benedict, taking that defender for a ride in the first quarter. Bear down, baby. Love that, but both your teams won today. Thank you for the 10-pound super chat from across the pond. Appreciate that. It's probably late for y'all, so I'm sure you'll be sleeping well tonight. Also, I don't know if you guys did see that, but that Theo Benedict block was crazy. He didn't have a perfect game, but that run block he had in the first half, he drove that defender like 15 yards into Canada, taking him back to the homeland. So, but appreciate that super chat. Before we get into the show, though, let's go ahead and get to our first ad break here. First off, thank you for watching the BFR podcast, the #1 show for the fans by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the #1 show for the fans, by the fans, the BFR podcast. Now let's get back to the show. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the love and support. Make sure to leave your OGs in there and your hashtags New Face Game. We'll make sure to give you a shout out. All right, you guys want to let's go to the game recap real quick and take a look at that. So let's see what we got here. And let's talk about what happened in the Bears game today. If y'all's hearts are still pumping, because, oh my gosh, I feel like I was going to have a heart attack from that game. But Bears win 47-42. Like, this is an NFL classic game from an offensive standpoint. We have not seen a shootout like this in the NFL in a minute. I think the Bills-Ravens week 1 was like that, right? Where it went to, I think they both scored 40. It came down to the last minute. But overall, just a fantastic game from an entertainment standpoint. But what's huge here is, look at that, 6 touchdowns by this offense. I can't remember last time Bears had 6 touchdowns. That may have been like Mitch Trubisky. I think he threw 6 against the Tampa Bay back in like 2018. 2 field goals, and we'll talk about that later with Kyle Santos, how we're feeling on that. We gave up 4 touchdowns and two field goals, though. But if you look at the passing yards, this is crazy. 293 is respectable in today's NFL. I'll take that. You gave up 449 passing yards. That is crazy. And then on the other side, the Bears had nearly 300 rushing yards, over 200 on the ground from both Britton Brown and Kyle Manungai, and then also 50 plus from Caleb. And you only gave up 46, so that's respectable. First downs was about 30-26, a little even there, but this is the thing. This is what wins the game. Right here, the Bears had 2 interceptions and a forced fumble recovery. The Bears, when they do not have a turnover or a takeaway, they have not won a game this season. In every game that they've had 2 or more takeaways, they've won. And in this game, they got a takeaway. It was actually funny because I tweeted that stat, and then literally the next play, they got a forced fumble. So maybe I'll have to keep doing that. But also on the shout to the defensive line, because they got 3 sacks this game. I'll take that. That's pretty good. And we did give up 2 sacks, but they weren't really detrimental sacks. They're more like 1-yard scramble loss sacks. So I'm not mad about that. So overall, I'd say offense looked great. Defense looked like dog shit. But this defense is boom or bust, and they've been like that all season. And they give up yards. They let teams score touchdowns.
I don't necessarily agree with what you said, Fick. It is not dog shit. There's just certain parts that are dog shit right now. Because Montez Sweat, he should have had I think that was a strip sack. I know it got overturned. I just don't think there was enough there. That's a big play. And he's been playing pretty damn well. He had another sack earlier or later in the game.
Montez, I agree.
Also, Austin Booker, first game back, you felt his impact more than Dio Adebengo, whatever his. I know he got injured late in the game. I said, was he even fucking playing? Like, I was literally shocked. Said he was doubtful to return. He never showed up. It was simple as that. So for me, there's moments and players that are really, really good. Tyreek Stevenson's coming back.
I think that's what it is, though, Dave. Players. I think as a unit overall, they don't look like Tmain Edmonds, baller, looks great. Montez Sweat played fantastic today, right? But when you look at you give up nearly 500 yards of offense.
But for me, it's the corners. Nashawn Wright, he had a pick 6, right? He's had some moments, but he has been really, really bad. And I understand you're going against some really, really elite receivers on the other side, but there was so many times where Joe Flacco threw to somebody that was wide open. And I understand the pass rush has to get there, right? But I actually am very, very high on Austin Booker. I think we're seeing just the tip of the iceberg with him. What he did to Orlando Brown Jr. was disgusting. And this is his first game back. So for me, I think we're going to see that Sweat and Booker. And then hopefully you get Grady Jarrett going a little bit more, Javon Dexter. But for me, it's the injuries in the secondary that have really made this defensive unit look like just really bad in moments. And in this game, of course, yes, Joe Flacco, he had an insane day. And it's not perfect. But for me, if Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson are here, and they're
sure.
healthy on that secondary, it's just this defensive unit is so different. And it's probably top 10 in the NFL, in my opinion. But for me now, the like I said, it is dog shit in moments and in spurts. And I don't think this secondary, I'm going to give Stevenson just a little bit of a break just because it's his first game back from injury. I don't think he's 100% either. And so for me, but everyone else on that secondary was just, getting torched. And so I don't know how you can really hold some of these pass rushers accountable. And then even the linebackers, Tmain, Edmonds, TJ Edwards. I'll say Noah Sewell kind of had a rough game too. Yeah. But I agree. There are moments, and I think players that are just really, really awful that are bringing down this unit, like Deshaun Wright.
That's why I'd say they're dog shit, is because I'm looking at the team that was on the field. I'm not looking at what the team would be. Like if you had Jalen Johnson back, if you had Kyler Gordon back, like your secondary is, you bring your all-pro top 3 cornerback back. That impacts your team tremendously.
But like Dio too. Austin Booker probably only played, I think, 20-something snaps. Dio took up a lot of those. He came in there. So I think you switch that out. I know you're paying a crap ton of money towards Dio. I think it's $28 million guaranteed.
I think he's a better run defender. That's why he gets a lot of snaps.
He ain't better at nothing. I don't give a. He is.
He's not doing it.
Just such. I'm not money. If you paid him $20 million, I would be like, okay, I like the run defense he provides. But no, you're paying him to get to the quarterback, give me pressures, get me hits.
I don't think he had any.
I don't even need sacks, but just get to the quarterback, dude. Yeah. And so for me, I understand that there's gonna be a lot of sound the alarms. The defense is truly, truly bad. And I get, yes, it's just for me. I think there's some players on here that are actually really, really good. And the other players are just bringing down this unit as a whole. Like Dennis Allen, I think he's a great DC. CJ Gardner-Johnson, he had a great sack early in the game. He had a really, really nice open field tackle. Mm-hmm. And he got here Wednesday. So for me, I think that's why you be aggressive at the deadline. I'm not saying go give up your first, second round pick, but try to find some players and acquire maybe some veterans that can really get you to an average at some of these corner spots, and even probably another edge rusher if you can. I know you're probably gonna have to pay. There's a premium at the trade deadline, but all in all, I agree with your statement, which there's a lot here. I guess I don't. I know it sounds like you don't, but I just want to highlight some of these players that I think are actually having pretty good seasons. And despite how bad it looked at moments, I'm really, really excited about some of these guys that once the unit gets healthy, could maybe shine even more, because some of these guys are just bringing down this entire unit. And
you got. Look, it's your secondary, and that's why Joe Flacco put up 450 yards. So I agree with you. This team's fully healthy. You get everyone back. That's a different unit. But what it is right now, I've seen 2 games where where basically guys are wide open every play. One of them was against the Ravens. The guys with Zay Flowers went off for 70, and there's another Bateman went off for 70, and then this game, same thing. So there's obviously a consistency issue that's showing where this team is consistently not doing a good enough job on the back end. But they do get takeaways. So, again, the defense is very boom or bust right now. If they keep getting takeaways, at least you're going to give your team a chance to win it. And so that's what they did today, and I will take that.
The other thing that we need to add to these graphics are penalties, because the defensive penalties have been a problem all year. Like the offense has issues, especially on false start and then a few holdings here and there. But compared to the defense, like Deshaun Wright's hands to the face. That is such a stupid penalty. And that ended up putting us in a really, really bad spot, because the Bengals could have ran it one more time. And then they had 3rd and 4th down that they could have passed and just killed. They could have taken our last time out, which then negates the Caleb rush. That's a different ball game. So and I feel like that's been for 9 or 8 games now. It's been penalties.
Well, we lead the league in penalties overall. Well, at least we did last week.
I believe it.
Overall, offense and defense. But I don't know what the split is, but this team has had a penalty issue, to say the least. So this time it was typically more offensive penalties. So this time, it was good that the offense did well. But there were some boneheaded defensive penalties that really fucked us over there at the end. But I agree with you on that. But who didn't fuck us over? And that's our man, Caleb Williams. Let's go ahead and pull open the Caleb Williams one. Let's see how he did today. Today, he was 20 for 34, which is a little bit low on the percentage at 58%, but he had 280 passing yards, 4 total touchdowns, which was a catch, and then 3 passing touchdowns. He had 0 interceptions, 53 rushing yards, I think, on 4 or 5 attempts, and a QB rating of 114. In other words, that man balled out. Now, maybe not from a yardage standpoint, but a lot of that was taken up because our run game was fantastic. So I don't really care about that. The offense looked great under him. He didn't do anything to, put the team in a bad situation, and he showed up when it matters most. But the question is, with 280 yards, how is that for the 4,000? Where is he at on the 4,000 tracker? So let's see here.
Yeah, I'm
last
very
week he had,
curious.
Yeah, last week he had 285. This week he had 280. So that actually puts him for his full year requirement at 200. Oh, sorry, the full requirement's wrong. It's flipped here. His year to date is 240, and his full year requirement to get 4,000 needs to be 238. So technically, he's 2 yards on average above the minimum requirement, which means that he's probably like on pace for 4,000 and like 35 yards or something like that. So he's definitely on pace to pass it. Can't have any more games where he's like 150 or anything like that. But if he can keep the string of games of being around like 280 plus or 270 plus, he'll get it with ease. So I'm feeling good with that. Also, the wins are helping. So if you don't get the 4K dragger, but you get wins, I'm going to be all right with that. And not only that, because he kind of, let's take a look at the QB rating as well, Tracker, if you don't mind, Jack. He also kind of was going on the downtrend the last 2 games, which makes sense. And it's nice to see him finally get back up. So, he had this worst game against not Baltimore, but the one before that. I can't remember who it was. His worst game against that. Baltimore, he played a little bit better. Well, it wasn't anything great. But today, his second highest graded game of the season. That's what you love to see. It was his second highest graded game of the season after a loss and showed up in the clutch time. Like, that's what you want to see about a quarterback bouncing back, is saying, hey, look, last week was last week. Let's get it right. This is a new day, a new game, and let me go out there and ball out. And he did that. And that's exactly what we want to see, Dave. We talked about on the pregame show. All we want you to do is play like you should against a bad defense, and he did. So I have no complaints on that front. Anything from that stands out from y'all? Y'all agree with kind of how he's been placed, where he's going to be at? Do y'all feel he's going to hit the 4K?
I do. I totally think so. And you know what? I think our passing game is just going to continue to evolve. Like, Lovelin's kind of waking up, and we're using him a bit more, which brings me back real quick. I don't know how I got here, but it just popped in my head. The fact that we did all this, we had, what did you say, 280 pass yards, and not a single reception by Odunze, which you could argue is our one at this point, is nuts. That's crazy to me.
Caleb had more receptions than Rome did.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
Wild. Yeah. Wild.
And Rome also had a couple drops too. That is concerning. Man. Yeah. I wanted to stay positive, but yeah, I think that's very, very interesting that Rome, it is now a real concern and pattern with, he just drops too many passes.
Yeah. He runs beautiful routes. It's crazy, though, because that drop he had, where it wasn't a perfect ball from Caleb, you see him going through and speeding through. It's like, oh, wow, this dude can run routes, but you're right. Yeah,
and he can block. He does a lot. He has so many traits of a wide receiver one. And for some reason, he's got like the yips or something. Yeah, I just saw it. The perfect timing right there. The D is dog shit. No, I agree. It's just, I wish I could highlight. I want to focus. I want to be like, I want to focus on some of these great players on this defense, or good players that make so many good plays. I get the negativity, I guess.
Hey, let's do it. We could do it now. Look at the defensive players that have played well. Dave, we've talked about it. Montez Sweat had another great game. He's had a string of games now where, even if you don't count the strip sack fumble, that would have been, I think, his 4th on the year, his 3rd on the year. He had another sack today. He leads the team in pressures, and it seems like at times the only guy who's getting anywhere near the quarterback. So he had a great game. Also, who's been playing fantastic this season, now ties the Bears in interceptions, is Tmain Edmonds. 4 on the year. And he was leading in tackles, looked fantastic as well, looking like he's having a really good year in this type of defense, which is fantastic to see. And then also, Kevin Byard almost had another pick, right? I don't think that was a penalty. I think that was kind of cheap I think that was very ticky-tacky. But just the fact that he could easily have 7 interceptions on the season and 3 of them have gotten called back shows that he's already been playing well. We know that, but that's good to see. So there's 3 guys right there that I think have done a really good job. I think Jervon Dexter, stats-wise, hasn't shown much, but his pass rush win rate has been pretty good for an interior defensive line for this season. So, yeah, I feel like those guys have played pretty well. No complaints. It's really just everybody. It's really well. TJ Edwards been good too. I feel like I didn't see TJ out that much. Was he injured?
No, he was there. He had let me pull it up here. So he had 5 total tackles.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot of tackling. I mean, Tmain Edmonds had 9 total. Tyreek Seaman had 6. CJ Gardner-Johnson had 6. Brisker had 6. Byard had 5. Edwards had 5. It's just they couldn't. Yeah, the ball was just flying. I mean, Joe Flacco had 470, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was a career high. Career high. The man who's been in the league for like 17 years had his career game at the age of 40 against the Chicago.
But here's the difference here. Joe Flacco, 470, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, right? Yeah, Caleb, 20 of 34, 280, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And you could say, I mean, there wasn't one ball like that really was like, you know how you go back, you look, Bears, Caleb got lucky. Probably should have been picked. Outside maybe the throw to DJ Moore to the left sideline where but for me, it's like you got to make a hell of a catch because he went in there to deflect it, right, to break up, pass breakup. And sure, you could say he go maybe make a play on the ball, but it's like that was an incredible deflection.
Yeah, that wasn't going to be.
So, I don't think that was but it's like the mistakes that Caleb does not make are just what really that's what wins these games. And so,
well, what is he now? He has 13 total touchdowns. I'm counting his catch.
Well, so he has. Let's just
touchdowns.
Go. No, he has more than that.
No, because he wasn't he 9 and. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I knew he had 9.
He had 3 passing touchdowns today.
Yeah, and he had 1 catching.
Yeah.
So I think on the season for passing touchdowns, I think he now is 12 and 4, which is a great. Yeah, that's
12
a great.
And 3.
12 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great ratio.
12 and 4. My bad.
But still, that's good. That's good. You'll take that any day of the year.
It's a good ratio. And then when you throw in the total touchdowns too, he's
got a catch and then he has a couple runs, right? I don't know how many, but so he's probably around like 15 and 4. The point is though, like you said, Dave, is that he doesn't turn the ball over. Even on his worst days, it's been 1 interception and that's it. So he's given the team. Obviously, you want him to play better. You don't want any interceptions, but every game he's at least given his team the ability to win it, even when he sucked. And so that's what gives you hope. Like his floor, we've seen like floors of quarterbacks. It's not super low. His floor is still slightly below average, but his ceiling can be so high. And so we're just hoping it's going to end more towards the ceiling, right? Which a lot of football left. It could. But right now, it's obviously a little bit closer to the floor, but that wins you games. All right. It's winning games for this team. They're 5 and 3. So you really can't complain.
I think the biggest thing here, and I'm guilty of this, is we got to let this thing play out. We got to see Caleb through full 17 games. Hopefully you get a playoff game in there too. If you're getting a playoff game, you got to feel really good about where he's at, because the defense, it's not like it's a 2018 Mitch Trubisky riding the coattails right now. Sure, maybe this defense is a lot different with, if they're fully healthy, but they're not. And Caleb and this offense, they're winning games too. This one, I think you won because of the offense, and that's what we've been wanting. So for me, like I said, I'm guilty. I'm going to say first, hand is up. I want to just these reactionary, up and down after every single game is just, it's not fair. It's not fair to him. And so for me, going forward, I'm going to do my best to just like, hey, analyze the game, but don't make these grand proclamations. So for me, I think he is just, he's trending in the right direction. And like you said, statistically, I think we might be looking at one of the best seasons by a Bears quarterback at the pace he's going, which is awesome.
He's on pace for it. He's on pace for it. Absolutely. Yeah, he definitely balled out, but he was not the only one that balled out. We're going to get to our MVPs here, but before we do that, we're going to get to our second ad break. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that. Access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Shout out to our Patreon members. Dave and I were on the call this morning. Packed house, like 10 of you on there. It was awesome. A great time meeting some of you for the first time. Really love those Zoom calls. If you want to be a part of that, like I said, the older version of me just said 10 seconds ago, feel free to join the Patreon, and then you can get access to that for next month. So I appreciate
want to bring up
everything this
crazy stat here before we get to it. It'll be real quick.
Yeah.
I just think it's too funny. Coulson Lovelin before today's game against Cincinnati, 11 catches, 118 yards, 0 touchdowns. Coulson Lovelin versus the Bengals, 6 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. I just think that yardage is just, that is hilarious.
Literally doubled it.
It's doubled it in one game. Pretty cool. So.
Hey, we love to see it, right? Obviously, hopefully Cole's back. Concussions, we don't like to see that. I think Cole is still a good player, but you love to see your draft pick fare out. And for the Poles haters, look, Poles is always up and down. This show talks about all the time where we kind of have him at. But you hit on Kyle Manungai, 7th round running back. If Coulson Lovelin starts to look more like this, obviously every game he's not going to do that, but if he has more games like that, looking pretty good. Darnell Wright looked fantastic again today. So a couple of those pole runs, like to the pitches outside, you see him at like the 3rd level. Like Darnell Wright is a fucking beast. And I think right now he's 2nd in the league on pressures allowed. So, and he didn't give up. I don't think he gave up any today. So shout out to Darnell Wright. But yeah, if Poles can get this class looking right, Luther Burden starts to unlock as well.
Burden was out due to concussion, but yeah, you can lay off the Ryan Poles slander, especially after the performances from Kyle Manungai and Coulson Lovelin today. You can say single-handedly those 2 rookies won this game. So, I want to talk about the announcers real quick. Your guys' thoughts. I thought they were bad. I thought they were so bad.
It has to be the worst crew in football.
I think we've had David Archuleta before, and he pissed me off.
We had him the first time. That's when you were pissed. You really did not like him.
Yeah,
that was the whole
that's what started this.
I was nicer today. Yeah, I was a lot nicer today. But I was like literally anything Caleb did, he'd be like, just run.
Yeah, he was all about that.
What do you mean?
There's a couple of them where I agree with them,
Yes.
but like it was at nauseum. It was like, dude, relax. Like, and what's funny though is in the 4th quarter, like the last 2 drives where Caleb is rolling out to the right, he had 2 big plays where he decided not to run and he zipped it in, one to Zacchaeus and one to DJ Moore, and they were huge plays. And so that's what Caleb is looking for. I get it. There are some where it's like, just take off, kid. You'll be good. But you understand what he's trying to do, right? He's trying to get those plays, and he's made a bunch of them this year. Some of them had led to drops, but he hasn't like really thrown a pick by doing that. So I'm not really as upset, or at least as locked on it as David Archuleta is. Also, one thing too, which is like the one that really did it was when he talked about the end of the half, and they get the first down. Oh no, it's going to be 3rd down. And he's like, oh, just spike the ball. But we have 2 timeouts left and we're out of field goal range. So if we were to spike the ball, it'd be 4th down and we're out of field goal range and we have 2 timeouts. So why we spike the ball? It was stuff like that where I'm like, dog, that doesn't make sense in any sort of way. But
Adam Archuleta, the second that this show's done, I'm figuring out how to get into Epstein files and find his name on it. I want him to never call another game again. Dude, like he sat there and kept trying to be right about things and he wasn't. So like Yoshibas's when he stepped out of bounds, and then which I still don't agree with it, but like it was called this way. And then I think it was Gene Sterator was who they were calling in.
Yeah, the ref.
But he sat there and he was like, oh yeah, he stepped out of bounds. Like this is gonna call back. And then they're like, well, it's no penalty, whatever. He's like, oh, I'm very surprised. Like it was like constant too, We said it's ad nauseum. Like it was just like constantly, like he kept trying to be right and he was wrong. And I hate him more than anyone in the entire world.
Yeah,
Adam, I hope he comes on the show and
we'll invite him. You're welcome. Yeah, come on. You're welcome.
There's actually a rare guest I would never have. There's no point. He just like his commentary. He will not bring anything to this show.
He might bring some viewers. So I'm on board. Go ahead. Come on. I love it.
No, I'm not beyond the show. I won't be on the show. No way.
I'll run it. We'll do it.
Okay,
we'll do it.
I guess I can have some hard-hitting questions for him.
No,
it's anyways, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was
bad.
Thomas. Yeah, appreciate that, Thomas. That was good. Okay, let's get to the game balls though. This is actually interesting. This one had a bunch of them. There are probably some more that we could have picked on there, but let's go ahead and kick that off. I'm going to start with one of the more obvious ones. I actually changed this before the last drive. I had Tmain Edmonds because he got that pick. And I was like, oh, the game's over. They've won it. Obviously, you're up 15. You just got a monumental pick in the red zone. Should have been a pick 6. Of course, you're going to get the game ball. But we saw what happened after that. So instead, it's going to Coulson Lovelin. Dave, you talked about it. 6 receptions, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns, and most importantly, the biggest touchdown of his career, the 58-yard reception on 3rd down where Caleb threw a dart in between like 3 people. Beautiful read across the middle. Coulson Lovelin did the rest. Game over. So he deserves the game ball. All right, Dave, what about yours?
Yeah, this one, we sent this in. There's so many, like Kyle Manungai, it makes a lot of sense. Coulson Lovelin, I think Ben Johnson, however, had one of the better play calling games. And there's been a lot of good ones this year. But he's just a master at his craft. I think, obviously, the offense executed it. Thank God. They didn't shoot themselves in the foot too often. And so for me, I think just the way that this game flowed and the play calling, I know the trick plays get a lot of attention, but establishing the run, sticking with it, going with a hot hand, with Kyle Manungai, and then Britton Brown, is that right?
Yep.
I mean, just the way that this game flowed, right? 25 touches or 26, I think, rushes to Kyle Manungai, for a guy that Ben Johnson loves to throw the ball, but we've seen it time and time again. He just wants to win. So he will do whatever it takes. He will call whatever it takes. He's not trying to, be flashy, but happens that those plays do work. So it looks great. And for me, that's why with Ben Johnson, you brought him here for these type of games. His demeanor, he's very stoic on the sideline, never too up. Looks like he's pissed off, yes, at times. But I think he's everything. He's worth every single penny that the Bears paid to get him here. So I'm going to give him my game ball. I don't like it, but I just want to be a little bit different.
I mean, he called fantastic plays. I think we all talked about in the first quarter, that dude was in his bag. Actually, all game he scored 47 points. I'm sorry, you have 6 touchdowns. Dave, your keys to the game was like scoring the red zone. They scored in the red zone every time, and they only had 2 field goals. So yeah, he did everything you need to do. If you put up 47 points as an offense, you're doing things right. So I don't care if it's passing or running. But Jack, let's get to your game ball. Speaking of running, huh?
If you know the show, you know exactly where this is going. Kyle fucking Manungai, 176 yards on the ground, almost 200 total yards. Dude, I posted this, I would say in the second quarter. He is a hard running back. And I like that he's also like 5'8", short guy, but man, can he just run, dude. And he runs hard every single time. I just think that he changed the game and opened it up 100%. Like, it's more like Caleb played very well. Lovelin played very well, but nobody on that offense opened up the game like Kyle did. And then I think it opened it up for Britton too, because I just think the D-line kind of got tired. The offensive line just kept working it. Like, the whole thing worked. And you could almost put the offensive line in here because the run block was awesome too. But no, Kyle Manungai, I just think like that, you can't even call it a breakout game. It is like 2X. I don't even know what you would call it.
Yeah.
No, I think his vision and his cuts are elite.
Beautiful.
Elite. Like, they are already there. And even as a receiver, you saw it, like when he takes a screen, he just has the ability to, his cuts are kind of like coincide and work so well with his vision, because he cuts to the right. He knows he's going to, cut left, but he'll go to the right, get that defensive back off balance. And then but the best thing too is, sure, the defensive back may get a hand on him, but his ability to stay up, to break those arm tackles. Yeah. His balance is just elite too. So I think those traits of just his balance, the cuts, and the vision are just very, very important for a back. And I think he is he's in the top tier with that. And then he runs so hard, 5'9", 210 pounds. But you'd think no one could stop him. And then I want to give real quick some love to Britton Brown. The touchdown was great. Awesome. Really good blocking too. But for me, it was that 3rd and 1. And he just leaps over, almost like Walter Payton-esque. And that effort right there, it's like that. You know, the guy, right? He just got elevated from practice squad. He's like, I'm gonna do whatever the hell it takes to stay on this team. And it's that effort right there, the maximum effort to get that 3rd and 1. Of course, the very next play he takes it to the house, so for 22 yards. But yeah, Kyle Manungai, I want to give you some credit, Jack. He is. Oh my!
You know who he reminds me of?
He is a very, very, very Maurice Jones-Drew.
Well, yes, but someone that we talked about the past year who just got drafted, Ashton Genty. They're like the same size, contact balance, hard to take down. Like that's what we wanted, right? We wanted a running back like that, and we couldn't get him, right? And that's not saying Kyle Manungai will have a better year than Ashton, or even vice versa. We don't know, but very similar play style of those two. So it's kind of nice to see that we missed out on Ashton, but maybe we got an Ashton light. Or maybe an Ashton better. Who knows? We'll wait and see.
What I like about Manungai and what he brings is he's just an insane runner, like so talented, very gifted, but he is very underrated in that passing game because he's just like a running back. He makes so many people miss. He's very versatile. You said pass blocking. Yeah, I'm excited to watch the tape. And I'm going to tweet this. I cannot wait. I wasn't going to do it if the Bears lost, but I said midway through the game, I cannot wait to cut up like all the runs and catches from Manungai, because it is going to be an insane clip, because every play just was, in itself, just fun to watch. Awesome stuff.
Ball. It was great. And there was a couple plays where like Darnell Wright's picking him up and like, cause he's still moving his feet, and Darnell Wright's at the second level blocking. And it's just like the pile would continue. So you love to see that. I would like to actually know your guys' thoughts on this, because I was watching the game. Obviously we want to see Caleb ball out, and he did, but there's something about just being able to like run the ball. It's a safer play. So like when you're effective with it, tires out the defense more, less likely for variables of turnover. And it just like, I don't know. I almost, not that you get more excited from big catches and things like that. I get that. But if it ends up being that the run game is the best part of this team, I think that's going to be a good sign of this team actually being able to do some damage in the playoffs, or even put themselves in position to make the playoffs. I'm kind of glad this offense isn't, we have to rely on Caleb to throw for like 350. You know what I mean? Or like, this has to be Caleb going crazy. Does Caleb still have to make big plays? Absolutely. And he did it. But like you said, Jack, there was only one player that really unlocked this offense. It was the dude who nearly had 100 rushing yards in the first half. Right. You know what I mean? That's crazy. So I'm actually excited about that when DeAndre Swift gets healthy. How that run game continues to grow, because we've seen since the bye, the run game has been almost night and day. Because we talked about it weeks 1 through 4, 1 through 5. We're like, dude, where's this run game at? And that's what Ben Johnson loves, right? His offensive coordinating, scheme back in Detroit was tons of running. But what's also great about Kyle Manungai is DeAndre Swift, they kind of unlocked him by saying, hey, run outside the tackles. We started to run more outside the tackles. That's where Swift excels at. That's where he gets his biggest runs, right? That's where he gets his biggest plays. Kyle Manungai is definitely in between the tackles. His vision, we talked about, I think that's why he's better, because not better as a running back overall, but in the tackles, because he has 10 times better vision than DeAndre Swift in there. And you see it, like his cutbacks, knowing where to go. And sometimes in the interior, DeAndre Swift will miss that. But what's good is once he comes back, and now that this blocking, I feel like the offense is kind of getting its groove. I wouldn't be surprised if this team is a top 5 rushing team by the end of the year.
Love that. I'm in. I'll say it.
I think they will be.
Give me top 3. Why not?
Top 3. Why not? They've had multiple 200 rushing yard games so far. So I think it's possible.
Yeah, I think the yin and yang, I think having just 2 really, really good, because I think Swift is a good back. And I think I'm not going to go, Sonic Knuckles on here and stuff like with Detroit, but to have 2 guys that Well, I mean, maybe Manungai might not need it because I was like maybe sub, Swift in, but I mean, Kyle was really, really good. And you saw Britton Brown too, kind of just next man up.
Mhm.
And I think it also maybe got to give credit to this offensive line, the tight ends. These guys are just blocking really, really well. Same with Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, and those guys. So I think it's exciting to see this duo. And even with Britton Brown and maybe get Roshan Johnson back, it's just for what we thought maybe as far as making a trade for a running back. Now you look at the trade deadline on Tuesday. Now you can focus on bringing in maybe something else. Thank God too.
Please.
So that's really, really it's really good for Chicago.
Sorry. No, you're absolutely right. But Gage is coming for you, man. you owe the man money.
I do owe money. I got you, Gage. I promise.
No, it is funny though. But you weren't wrong. You were just early. You know what I mean?
Jack? I was an injury too early, I think, or like I was a few weeks off of the injury call because to be fair, like Manungai doesn't have this game, obviously, if Swift is okay, you know, and we never get to see it, which is hard. And that's always hard being a backup. Is like sometimes you just don't get your chance. Roshan never really got a chance. I think he got his first start was year 2 or maybe the end of year 1. And that, I mean, it was a shit show, but sometimes you just don't get your chance. And Manungai got his chance and obviously did more than delivered, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Packed, sealed, stamped, everything. He delivered and put it all together. It was fantastic. All right, let's run through the meters real quick. Then we got our team grades. We'll got one final ad read, and then we'll get to the voicemails. So appreciate it. Let's go real quick on these. I think we've talked about enough about Caleb, but mine did bump up just a little bit, which is good. I think he is playing better ball. There's still a lot on the table for him. That's more a viewpoint of kind of the season. I think today, though, he balled out, so he'd be all the way up. But I'm just kind of looking at like where he's at and kind of what my confidence with him is. But again, giving him patience, I feel good about the quarterback and where he's going to go. He's just not quite there yet. All right, let's go to Dave's real quick.
Yeah. I'm going to stay. I think I'm going to stay right here. Like I said, unless it gets really, really bad, I'm going to keep him around this 3/4 mark. No reason to put him in the GOAT status, but he's playing steady. He's getting better, and I like it.
Love it. Jack, what about you?
Yeah, I think this is the same as I had last week, but no, man, right here, I think that clutch bumps you up a little bit. You got to be clutch if you want to be a great quarterback. And you think of any of the top 5, top 10 that you have in your head right now in the league currently, every single one of them's clutch. And so that was a clutch drive. So yeah, good spot.
Good spot. Absolutely. All right, let's take a look at the Ben meters then real quick. This one probably we might if this team keeps winning, this is probably going to be retired by the end of the year because we're going to feel very confident about him. But Ben did get bumped up for me. Great game. Still some penalties, but I'd say on the offensive side of the ball, they did a better job. This could have dropped severely, though. I want to make that so clear that if they would have lost this game, I'm having Eberflus flashbacks. It doesn't mean I'm all out on Ben, but it's like, man, those are the fuck ups that get you fired when you stack them, right? And he didn't do that, which actually proves a point that this is not the same coach that we had the past couple of years. So shout to him. He's going to stay in the green. I'm very confident about Ben Johnson, and there's room to grow, which I think is actually fantastic. What about you, Dave? Where'd you have him at?
It's not changing. I told you, Fig. I'm going to keep it simple.
I love it.
He's the guy.
Love it. Jack, what about you?
I'll keep it even more simple. He's the guy.
I love it. Best. Appreciate it. All right, let's get to the team grades here. Man, it's so hard, but that last second of the game could make these grades shift tremendously. But offense, you score 47 points. I haven't seen an offense score that many points in, I don't know. I can't remember the last time, but you're getting an A+. You did everything you needed to do. Defense, my God, I had it at C-. I might drop it to a D+ because I had a C- before the end of the game. Figure it the fuck out, please. I just needed one stop. Not great. I know there's a lot of injuries that's bringing that grade down. I think long-term, you guys are better than what you're playing now. But for this game alone, I probably got to go D+, C-. Special teams, holy shit. Richard Hightower, bro, you might need to go. Maybe that's just me with the emotions, but this is easily your worst game. Missed field goal. Game starts off. We barely talked about this. The game starts off with a kickoff return. Then the second kickoff return, the game starts off with a kickoff return touchdown. Then the second kickoff return, they nearly take it to the house again. Our kickoff return, where we get our best run, ends up being a penalty. Like overall, other than Torrey Taylor, it was awful across the board. Just not good performance. And I'm going to have to give you an F. Coaching, I'm actually going to give a B to B plus just because you found a way to win. You almost get an extra bump because you could have easily lost that at the end if you didn't have your team in the right mindset. So shout out to those guys doing it right. So overall offense looked good. Coaching was good. And all the rest was a little iffy. So what about you, Dave? What you have for yours?
Yep, I have really offense B plus. I think showed a lot of good stuff out there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Just there's room to improve, but you like what you see, especially against the Bengals defense. So take it with a grain of salt. Defense a C, really could be a lot lower. I'm maybe grading on a scale because of injuries. Yeah, that's probably a really bad grade. But so we'll grade on the curve. I'm at a C. Special teams. This should have been an F too. I don't know what I'm doing when I'm making these grades. This one was an F. I think just overall, I know what I did. I put a D for special teams because shout out Torrey Taylor. He is single-handedly a unit, man. That punt, I think it was 71 yards.
Yeah,
he flips field position, and when we need him to, he just does it. So, and then coaching overall, I think just Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, Al Harris. Some of these guys are just so good. And I think Richard Hightower is kind of bringing this unit down. And I know it's not all on him. It's up to the players to make him look better. But I'm just going to hold him accountable because I don't think he really should have been brought back. I really don't. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Right. What you got, Jack?
Offense A. I don't know how you create a better offensive game. Like there were some mistakes, but like every team has mistakes every week. So I don't know how you have a much better one when you have over 500 yards of offense. Defense C, again, we need to start doing this like in the 2 minute. You can't even do that. I would say 30 seconds left in the game.
Yeah,
it truly was an F. Like that sucked. And again, he's 40 years old. Joe Flacco, not a good game. That truly is an F. Special team C, you guys said it. Torrey Taylor, Cairo sucks so much, but he did make. What do you have? 2 field goals? So
two for three, and one of them technically got blocked. But he did miss one. There was a penalty. So
right, and so like obviously that's not great. You could put them at a D or an F too because the onside kick is inexcusable. Truly
awful.
You practice that. That is and it's a very square play to practice. Is onside recovery. It kind of works the same way every single time. So yeah, not great. Coaching B. The Hightower thing. I get the hate and I get why people are upset. I solely think because of the onside kick that I would lower it, but at the same time, what Dave just said is that it's on the players too. Like there's no play you can call for a kickoff. Like you just need to fucking tackle the guy or the returner. So it's hard to blame him, but I think Ben really killed it. Dennis Allen sucked. And Declan Doyle, who knows what the fuck he does? I couldn't tell you a single thing he does. I don't even know.
He does a lot of the film stuff.
Yeah, right. I don't think he even goes to the game. Too. Probably just sits at home.
He's there. He's there.
Him and Luther Burden were watching together. I'm pretty sure. Like I don't think he goes to the games. I don't think he.
That's crazy. I think he's up in the booth. To be honest, he does a lot of because I watched an interview with him. He does a lot of seeing what he sees on the field and he feeds it to Ben live during the game, saying like, "Hey, we're seeing a lot of this with the defense." Blah 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 blah. So help him out. But yeah. Good stuff, though. I think that makes sense. Offense did well. Everything else was kind of like, hey, we're trying to lose this game. So that's great. Yep. Except the takeaways. We got a decent amount of takeaways. So we'll take that. I did see one comment here before we get to the last ad read in the voicemails. I think it was a good one. But from Romy said, Vicky, can you please apologize for tweeting "fuck you, Chicago"? No, I will not, because with every bone in my body, thought we were going to lose that game after they scored that last second touchdown. And that has nothing to do with Caleb Williams. That's from just data collection of the past 30 plus years of my life watching this team. Typically, when you give up 15 points in 49 seconds, right, you typically find a way to lose that game. Most teams do. So the Bears actually did the opposite and got it right. So I'm not going to apologize. I'll fall on the sword on that one. Definitely in my emotions, but I did not think we were going to win that game. I don't know if you guys did once we gave up those 2 touchdowns. No. Yeah, exactly. My Bears.
Let's go ahead. What do we got left, Vic? I know we have voicemails.
Let's do the ad read real quick. And then we got the last voicemails and we'll be heading out. All right. Before we close out the show, I got to tell you about some awesome stuff that we have cooked up on the BFRstore.com. As you can see here, we have hats, hoodies, mugs, stickers, a whole bunch of fire stuff, and we're always working on new creative designs. Maybe jerseys coming, who knows? But you can check it all out at thebfrstore.com. Com. All the proceeds from the merch store just goes back right into the show. And plus, we want to give you fire stuff because we want to look fly all the time. And we want y'all to look fly as well. So if you want to support the BFR show, go to the BFRstore.com. We appreciate all the love and support. Now let's get back to the show. All right, let's get to these voicemails, though. I know we're nearing time here. So let's fly through this. Start with Thomas here. I think this was before the game started, or maybe halftime. So if you hit Thomas Jack on one,
this is exactly what I was talking about in the Zoom call, guys. I don't know what we're doing, but I am optimistic. But I feel like someone's getting fired this week with special teams. What are we doing? 2017.5. Running game looks good. I don't understand why we're even throwing the ball. Just keep pounding it. They can't stop it. Why run anything else? Hopefully this gets better in the second half. Bear down.
Well, it sure does, kind of. Let's go to his second one then, if you don't mind, Jack. I think it's the end of game.
Hell fucking yeah. Packers lose. The last second field goal. Bears pull away. Kick the crap out of the Bengals. What a day. What a day.
Love it. Short and sweet. You have absolutely right. See how the emotions change. All right. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it. Thank you also. Nice meeting you on the Patreon call this morning as well. Let's go to Mason next.
Real quick for everyone listening, the locker room video just dropped right now.
Okay.
2 minutes and 14 seconds, too. It's a minute. It's like a movie.
Okay. Maybe we can play that after this. Go ahead. Hit Mason next.
Man, holy shit. What was that game, bro? Dude, that was an emotional roller coaster, bro. Hey, this is Mason Marriage. And man, what did I watch? Like, the complete breakdown, like, of collapse of both teams' defenses. It's just my dude, like, I can't take it. This is, I'm not going in a cardiac arrest or something. Like, I'm 18 years old. I'm not supposed to be having these types of heart palpitations, but it's happening every Sunday, bro. I'm gonna go to the doctor, and they're saying every Sunday I'm gonna have a heart palpitation. Like, holy shit! What did I watch? And it's even crazier that the Bears won that game. Like, huh? Like, ever since Tmain ended, got called down for that pick six, that takes that pick six away. I somehow knew we lost that game. Ever since we had that, the first false start of the entire game was on that play after that pick. Was like, I was like, oh, we're not going to get the first down. We're going to have to punt it. They're going to go down and score. And then they recovered the onside kick, and I just don't know, bro. Oh my God. But I don't know. Maybe this is not the same old Bears. I don't know. This is the biggest question mark. Is what are we? What is this team? I don't. But there's one thing I know, and it's that Caleb Williams is our guy. I don't give a shit that he has inaccuracy. I don't give a shit what the commentators say. Caleb Williams is our guy. He steps up to the plate and he hits a home run. Like Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers in the playoffs. I don't care. He hits that home run. He gets that. And man, Coulson, Lovelin, that is why we drafted him. That is why we drafted him. Big game for Coulson. Big game for Manungai. We're somehow 5-3. Let's just keep on chugging on. This is what it's like to have the Pope on your side, I guess. But like, holy moly, man, what a game! Oh my God, I don't know. Bear down, win the next one somehow. I don't know. All right, bear down, guys. Bear down.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mason. 18, get used to that because there's going to be a bunch more of health palpitations coming your way. All right, let's go to Chris next.
Oh my God, Jack, Dave, Vicky, what a barn burner, what a heart turner. Oh, I don't know what to say right now. The Bears, Colston Loveland, That was amazing. Screw the refs for bringing back that pick six. That was definitely a pick six. Then you're going to call a guy because he was touched while going to the ground. You have to be down and touched to be down. Fuck them refs again. Screw them. I don't know what to say, man. This team, they don't look great. They're trying to get it together, but they got the heart, man. They got the heart to pull it out. They're making shit happen. Even when the chips are down, even when the cards are stacked, they're making shit happen. We're going to do it, boys. Bear down. Bear down. Have faith. I need all you Bears fans to have faith. I can't see any more chatter about, is this our quarterback? This guy stinks. This guy, get rid of that guy. Get rid of that guy. Come on, boys. This is our team. You pull together for our team. We're not going to cut one arm. We're not going to cut anybody. We're going to come together as a team. Bears fans, bear down. Get the win. Let's go. What a game. I don't know if I can calm down. I'm going to be up all night now. That was crazy. Bear down. Love you guys. Love the show. Keep up the great work. OG, let's go.
Appreciate
That was
it,
the
Chris.
best voicemail
Love
I've
it.
ever heard. I'll tell you that. That was by far the best fucking voicemail.
Yeah, because he said your name. I love it.
I love
Good stuff, Chris.
Really good.
Appreciate it. Let's go to
Really good
Jerome.
stuff,
Let's go to Jerome next.
Holy shit. What a game. What an emotional roller coaster at the end. It's Jerome from Darien. Golly, man. Oh, man. I'm so charged right now. I'm not going to lie. There is bad to talk about from that game, but let's just start with some good. The goddamn Caleb Williams and that offense clutched up again, and Coulson Lovelin, the Michigan man, going and breaking Ohio hearts again. Gotta love it, baby. Gotta love it. But regardless, got the win. On the bad, though, that defense was terrible in those last couple minutes. They were terrible actually for a good chunk of that game. If outside of maybe 3 drives at max, the defense was bad. They need to fix that. I knew it was going to be a challenge when we had to sit here and deal with Chase and Higgins and how that Bengals team likes to run their offense. But man, that was rough to go. I get the feeling anytime we play some good wide receivers, boys, it's probably going to look like this until we can get Gordon and Johnson back. Because, look, man, I'm a Stevenson guy, but geez, dude, he is not looking great over his past 2 games, if we're being honest. Hopefully Poles can get out here, make a move to get it better, because I think teams are exploiting the fact that they can hit us with quick passing because our corners suck dick right now. So hopefully he can make a move to fix that problem. It was great to see Austin Booker out there playing great today. Regardless, every win doesn't have to be clean. We got the dub. They need to clean up that stuff on the defense, because if they can clean it up on the defense and not give up so many just easy drives where teams are walking down the field on them with short passes, we could be winning a lot more games comfortably. Regardless, we got the win today. Bear the fuck down. Let's go, baby.
Thank you, Jerome. Appreciate it. Yes, secondary is not looking great. Okay, let's go to Trig here.
What's up, fellas? What a huge win today. 5-3. Don't care how we got there, but we got there. Just want to, start off with Caleb Williams. Sure, there was, he looked a little uncomfortable when the pressure got to him. Probably ran around playing hero ball too much, but he made the big plays when it mattered, and he made some big-time fucking throws today, especially at the end. I love seeing that. I mean, that's such a huge confident booster for your young quarterback. What a fucking dot to Coulson Lovelin. What a play by Lovelin, man. No way Cole Kmet makes that play, but love to see it. Love to see it. Manungai, we got a fucking running back. He is a guy. And he was just running through people today. It was awesome. Really curious to see what the workload versus him and Swift moving forward looks like. Odunze, we got to catch the ball. The defense, man, I said this last week on the show, Poles has gotta, do his job. Apparently we are a very aggressive team, quote unquote, at the deadline. We got to get some D-line help. We got to be able to get to the quarterback. I mean, we did an okay job today, but we still gave Flacco too much time. We desperately need secondary help. We desperately need help. I mean, Sauce Gardner helped, but it definitely showed today, but we need more help. Cairo Santos, Hightower, get the fuck off my team. other than that, I mean, at least the offense showed up today, and Ben Johnson called a great game. So bear down. We lose this game last year. We're 5-3. Onward to next week. Let's make some moves to the deadline, but go Bears.
Thanks, Trig. Appreciate it. Let's get to Angie and then Marcus to finish it off.
I'm most excited for this one right here. Most
Angie,
excited.
yeah. We talked to her this morning.
Okay, I
so she was in
recorded this like
positive
4
mood.
times because I'm just so excited that we won that game. Well, I'm so freaking excited. That was awesome. We didn't back down. We went back out there. We won. Hell yes. That is probably one of the wildest games I've ever watched. And I was super pissed thinking that we were going to lose to the Bengals, but we didn't and we pulled it out. So I'm super happy about that. Just think, guys, we're in probably a 3 or 4 week tie in the AFC North. Who's going to win it? The Packers lost. The Lions lost. I mean, hell yeah. Couldn't ask for a better freaking day today. Hell yes. The Bears are coming. We're gonna do it. I'm telling you, within the next 2 years, I feel it, man. We're gonna win a championship. Okay, maybe I'm getting too excited, but at the same time, I love what I saw today. They didn't give up, and that's what we have to remember. Don't give up even when we're down. I'm super happy about this. Hell yeah, bear down.
I love it. I love it. Angie used to be negative, and she's on the up and up. Never apologize for being excited about a win. Let's get to the last one here. Is it Marcus?
All right. Great win. I was unfortunately stuck at work, so I was just like casually checking the box score when I had a minute. But yeah, no. Great win. That was fucking awesome. Yeah, I really got nothing much to say other than, well, obviously the defense could have been a little better, but I'll give you a pass because you were playing against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like, most good defenses can't stop them anyway. So, like, I give you a pass. I would have preferred you didn't give up did we give up over 500 or was it just about 500? I forget. Some odd yards of offense. Caleb, you look fucking amazing today. Great job, dude. Holy shit. My one complaint, though, and this is pointed at you and another player, Rome. What the fuck, man? A goose egg? 3 targets, no catches? What the hell, man? My fantasy team was counting on you, and now I'm gonna lose this week. Yeah, that was frustrating, but I mean, the rest of the team still did good, so I'm not actually that mad, but I kind of am because I was still undefeated in fantasy, and I am losing now. Not just because of Rome, but that sure didn't help. But yeah, anyway, great game, great win, fantastic shit. Bear down, boys.
Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it. Sorry about your fantasy team, but at least the Bears won. We'll take that any day of the week. Okay, that's it for the voicemails. Let's go ahead and go through the shout-outs here real quick, Jack, and then we can end the show. We got Jerome, who just left the voicemail. Appreciate it. Said, #OG. Love seeing the Bears get the job done today. Way to bounce back from an ugly loss. The future is bright in Chicago. With Swift and Manungai, we got two-headed monster. Love that. We got Thomas Whitty, a Patreon member, #OG, bear down. What a day. Packers lose, Lions lose, bringing us closer to contention. We love seeing that. Domain Expansion 94 on YouTube said, #OG, I bear down my whole leg. That is a crazy comment as I read that live, but I love it. I love it. In Peril 34 on YouTube said, #OG. Special teams has looked bad almost all year. Might be looking for a new special teams coach next year. Yep, might be the case. Did not look good. We got Gage, a Patreon member as well. #OG. That game was crazy. I think that's an understatement. We got MCM Hero on YouTube. #OG. The Cardiac Kids are back. Absolutely. Rudy Pfaff the fourth said, #OG. Hit that like button. You got to do it. He said it, so you have to do it. We got Caleb, who's also a Patreon member, a Rookie Grizz, said, #OG. Thank you, Caleb. Appreciate that. Kyler Villagoma is in here on YouTube. #OG. Enjoyed my victory ice cream right now. Coulson, Lovelin, bear down. Thank you, Kyler. Then we got JDog9762 on YouTube with the #OG. We appreciate that, JDog. Isaac, who's an OG as well, with the #OG bear down. And then we got Ken on here as well on YouTube with the #OG bear down. Oh, and Jerome back as well with the hashtag OG, all in, all happy to be 5-3. Yes, we got to clean things up like that bear down going down someone's leg, but it feels like the ship is going in the right direction. All right. And then final one as well from Cheese and the Bear Pod. Make sure to check that out with the hashtag OG. We appreciate that, Brennan. And then Mr. James 44288 on YouTube said hashtag OG. Ugly wins still count. 5-3 feels good, fellas. Enjoy it and bear down. Appreciate that. Thank you all for the OGs, new face gangs, all that stuff. Appreciate all the support on Patreon. All you guys check out the Discord as well. That's free to join. You can do that. Links and descriptions all below. We appreciate all the support. Again, thank you for tuning in. Over 5,000 people in here across all platforms, tuning into the number one show for the fans, by the fans, Bears Film Room. Again, Dave, Jack, and I are Bears fans just like y'all. Even though we cover the team, we go through the cardiac palpitations like everybody else watching this team about blow crazy leads. So we appreciate y'all. We want to make sure we put you on display. And the final thing here is we're going to give a shout out to our Patreon members like we do every show. If you want to get a shout out, you can join our Patreon, link in the description. Let's start it off with our Hall of Fame Grizzly members. We got Michael from across the pond, Gage, who was in here, Phil, who's in here, Michael Berry, who we talked to earlier this morning, Angie Wright sent a voicemail. Appreciate that. Daniel Jones, thank you for the super chat. Thomas, thank you for the voicemails. Tito and Dave, thank you guys so much. We appreciate all the Hall of Fame Grizzlies, but we got to give love to our rookie Grizzlies as well. Shout to Alex, shout to Chris, Ethan, Caleb, I know you put a hashtag OG in here. Appreciate that. Jason, and then our newest member, Megan. We appreciate all of you rookie and Hall of Fame Grizzlies for holding down the Ben. Again, holding down the den. And again, if you want to be badasses like them, you can join the Patreon, link in description, and you'll get a shout out on every show, plus all of the other great content that we have going on in there. All right, that is it. Back to you, Dave.
Nope, that's it. I appreciate everyone that tuned in. About 5,300 of you guys across all platforms. So thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week to kind of preview Bears Giants. So appreciate it. Bear down.
Peace.